Good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to jump on and let people know in the path of this currently severe warned cell over on the Kansas side. It's going to be crossing over onto the Missouri side in just the next few minutes. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Lacine. Going to pick up Lynn Valley. Amsterdam is going to go up here to Drexel, just coming into actually the Polygon splits Drexel. So it's going to go a little bit to the south of Drexel there as it comes across the Missouri state line. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this cell for just a second. And then I thought we would go ahead and get into the rest of the afternoon, see what looks at tape shape there. But I've been watching this cell for the last little bit. It just popped up. We do still kind of have all of the conditions right for these little pop-up cells this afternoon. We're going to be watching for those for the next couple of hours. But this one has just popped up about 10-15 minutes ago here. It's had some really weak rotation in it, you guys can see over here on velocity, but I'm not terribly concerned about that right now. What I actually wanted to talk about with this particular cell, if you're in the path of this one, let's talk about hail. This was putting down some significant hail a minute ago, and so I'm still picking that up on radar returns just north of K7 there, looking at possibly greater than 1-inch hail, so up around 1.25 inches, maybe some 1.5 inches, significant size hail there, working its way up toward Lacine. So let's actually check this one for a couple more things. We'll get out of here and talk about the path of this severe warned cell as it starts to work its way over onto the Kansas side. So let's go ahead and put a path on this as this tracks over into the Missouri neighborhood. We'll kind of take the leading edge of the more severe aspects here. So this is going to track over to let's do that again. It's moving along pretty quick. So we have about 18 to 24 minutes before this picks up the Drexel neighborhood. So we're going to call that about 20 minutes. This is just going to pick up Lynn Valley here right now. In about 5-6 minutes, it's going to be out to the wildlife area. And so after that, going to come right through Merwin. And like I say, just a little bit south of Drexel for the severe warned cell. Currently putting down some possibly up to about 1-inch hail in this severe warned cell right there. So I wanted to go ahead and let everybody know about that. Again, just one more time. This one is picking up Lacine, Lynn Valley, Drexel, Amsterdam, Merwin, and Mulberry are out along Y Highway. This one is going to go for the next 16 minutes. Talking about some possible wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and some possible 1-inch hail, 1.25-inch hail. And I think we are seeing that. A little bit bigger than 1-inch hail. This is going to go until 2:15 p.m. on this severe warned cell. So we have a couple of other things. Like I say, this is kind of the neighborhood that we might see these little pop-ups. I do see another little cluster getting going out around Iola and Humboldt. Those are not severe warned at this time, but they may come into a little bit more favorable environment where we would be talking about some additional severe warned thunderstorms this afternoon. So as you can kind of see from regional radar here with me, we've been the beneficiary of this afternoon sunshine starting to break through the clouds a little bit as we encroach upon 80 degrees around the region. So that's not going to help matters in terms of severe weather, but not looking for widespread threats over here in east central Kansas and this chunk of west central Missouri. If anything, we're going to see these little pop-ups this afternoon moving along. I'll go ahead and take the radar data off just so you can see a little bit more clearly where this tornado watch has been issued. This is going to pick up over here around Warsaw, Hermitage, Bolivar, 13 Highway Corridor, and take Springfield and go off to the east. So we're expecting most of our severe weather. You guys can see on this graphic, all the storm chasers are gathered here around St. Louis, where that particular tornado threat is looking to start to materialize later this afternoon. So like I say, no other watches out for west central Missouri and for eastern Kansas at this point in time. Not expecting any either. Like I say, I think we may just get these little pop-up thunderstorms for the next few hours. So let's go ahead over and look at model data just to see up to the minute what is being suggested for the rest of our afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and move this around a little bit. And we'll look through the rest of the afternoon as we come along to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I think 3 o'clock is the hour. You guys can see this is model data again. This is not live time radar. So we're looking at the possibility of these small discrete cells over here, both sides of the state line. Might see some stuff down here along the front. This would be like Humboldt, Iola, working its way over toward Fort Scott. Could see some stuff down here in Nevada or south as well. Again, this is the 3 o'clock hour. So we'll go out kind of regionally here and move through the rest of the afternoon. Whatever happens should work its way off east northeast, as you guys can see here. Here's a possible 5 p.m. radar picture. Do you think we will see some clustered cells and possibly some discrete cells? Here is 5 o'clock. Looking around Springfield, right? Mount Vernon, down towards Neosho, Pineville, right, which has seen plenty of activity already, but that's what we're looking for along the 5 p.m. hour. Can move this along and see what happens towards 6 o'clock. So by 6 o'clock, data suggests this evening all this is well into that tornado watch area. Move along here towards 7 o'clock. Everything is well off to our east. So like I said, it is between now and about 6 o'clock that I am looking for these possibly small discrete cells to run up, just like we're seeing right now. So let's go back over here to our severe warning. This is our only warning. If you're just hopping on for a quick check, this is our only warning in the area right now, is this severe warned thunderstorm. This is just crossing over state line here at Amsterdam. So let's go ahead. The thick of this right now, we'll get kind of street level here, is just south of the power plant. So here is, let me get my tools up here. Here's 69 highway. And over here, this is state line. This is the blue line right here. So between 69 and Missouri state line, here is 2200 road just south of the power plant. This is where the heaviest of the thunderstorm activity is right now. Moving off east northeast. So here is Amsterdam. If you're out at Lathine Corner, it's right between you and Amsterdam heading over to the east. So strong thunderstorm just about to pop into Amsterdam. Last time we looked at this a few minutes ago, hail was significant in this. So over 1 inch hail being put down in this area right now. This is still to the southwest of 69 highway as far as this hail core, but it's going to track right toward Amsterdam. That's where this is headed. So that's what we have for you this afternoon. This is our only severe warned thunderstorm right now. Would not be surprised to see a few others. We'll just kind of show you how quickly these have popped up here. I'll loop the radar. Boom, there it is. About 12 minutes ago now. Kind of watch what happens down there to the southwest by Iola. You guys can see how these are just going to kind of crop up through the afternoon. So again, expecting these pop-ups, not big, wide, discrete, widespread threats, just mostly these discrete cells popping around the area this afternoon. So no surprise, new warning down there to the southwest. Let's go ahead and check that out. So this is over on the Kansas side. We are at 54 highway, just past La Harpe, working our way east. So now severe warned thunderstorm is just outside of the town of Moran there at 59 highway. Imagine this is going to be the same kind of caution from the National Weather Service, up to 1 inch hail. It's about quarter size and possibly some 60 mile per hour wind gusts in this as well. So this is again going to be tracking off to the east northeast. We'll keep an eye on these. So this seems like kind of our line here, just along and just behind the front. So we're going to watch for these storms. Maybe Harrisonville. I was saying maybe this afternoon, Harrisonville and points to the south, but this is where we seem to be kicking things off for these little pop-up cells this afternoon. So what are they going to be known for? Strong damaging wind gusts, possibly up to 60 miles per hour. When we see those, that is what triggers these severe warnings that we're seeing right now. When we get down 50 and below, we may see some special weather statements if those winds relax on these a little bit. But right now, they are picking up to that severe warned status. Getting thunder over South Peculiar, Lake Annette area. And Janice is getting heavy rain in Drexel. Yep, it's just about. In fact, I think it is. This is moving along pretty quick. So we'll go and pick up Amsterdam. Drexel, you're right out on the edge of this. So it might, the bulk of this is going to wind up, I think, just to the south of my friends in Drexel going to wind up out here along a highway. Really is where it's going to pick up the strongest of this, possibly Main City, double A highway just to the south of that is where all this is headed. And it was putting down some significant 1-inch plus size hail. And so for all those reasons, not surprised at all, they've gone ahead and kicked out the severe warned polygon. Now is going to pick up Garden City, Archie, Adrian, Creighton, and Urich. You guys have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Get my words figured out. For the next 38 minutes, they're still leaving this to talk about 1.25 inch size hail and possibly some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So right before this happened, we were taking a look at the hail, which is down here at Amsterdam right now. So if you're in Amsterdam, good afternoon to you. You don't need me to tell you that you're having one heck of a thunderstorm right now. Kind of came out of nowhere within the last 15 minutes. But Amsterdam, Missouri is picking up the bulk of this severe warned cell right now. This is going to track off to the east-northeast. So let's go ahead and put some times on this. If you are headed up toward Garden City, 7 Highway, or crossing 49 between Adrian and Archie, this is going to be your next current events. It is a kind of out of nowhere thunderstorm popping up from the southwest. So let's go ahead and put some times on this for you guys here. It is headed your direction, but I'm going to use the heaviest part of the storm, so you might see rain and thunder, just like Janice was saying before that. But before the bulk of it gets there, I think you want to be out of the way of this thing within the next 26 minutes if you are in Adrian, 26 to 31 minutes if you're up towards Archie. Out here towards Garden City, we have 45 to 50 minutes possibly. But this is moving pretty quick. So if you want to be out of the way completely, say 30 to 40 minutes before this hits like Garden City and the 7 Highway corridor, working our way out towards Creighton as well, about the same time frame. So if this holds together, this is going to make it all the way out to ZZ, Quick City, and Blairstown. You guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. This big strong cell is off to your southwest, putting down some inch plus hail, and it will have some possibly up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts moving your direction. So go ahead and pull up velocity on the right side of your screen. We're looking at the same storm, just 2 different views. I did see a little bit of weak rotation up in that storm as it got started, but I'm not really seeing that right now. So that's a good sign. So what are we talking about? Just hail and some strong wind gusts, although we'll keep watching that. While we have 2 views going here, let's go ahead and talk about that hail core. Don't see any significant change there. That's just working its way over into cross state line right now. So Amsterdam, like I say, in the thick of that with some 1 inch plus hail. So we do have, on account of this activity, kind of working its way up from the southwest. I took radar data off just to show you our newest watch for the area. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm watch. This is going to go for almost the next 7 hours till 9:00 p.m. tonight. Scattered large hail and isolated very large hail up to 2.5 inches in diameter possible. Isolated damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible. Tornado or 2 possible. Like I said, we did see that rotation. So severe thunderstorm watch is just now out for the counties in red down here in very southeastern Kansas. So we'll put some towns. This is Iola, Humboldt, Fort Scott, Fredonia, Erie, Independence. This is going to stretch out and pick up Cedarvale and Sedan, Kansas. So that'll do it for the Kansas counties on the southeastern chunk. Mound City and Pleasanton, you guys are in this as well. So over here into Missouri, they're going to put this out all the way up to Marshall, Warrensburg, Harrisonville. Again, this is till about 9 p.m. tonight. This is a watch for severe thunderstorms that may have some large to very large hail to be isolated. So not all of us are going to see this. Just where you get these isolated cells for the next few hours. We were just looking at data. We'll do that again because there's a new model run coming out as I'm speaking to you. So we'll check that out in the next few minutes. But basically, I don't think it's going to be too much change. We're going to see these scattered discrete cells popping up like we're seeing now this afternoon. So We'll go back over here to the Kansas side, and you guys can see severe thunderstorm warning now is going to pick up Mapleton. So we're talking about, here is K3, here is K65, there's Mapleton right there. All of this area is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for this strong storm that is just finishing up in the Moran, Kansas area, crossing 59 highway, going to head off toward, really it looks like it's headed towards Xenia. So if you're out in this neighborhood, let's see what we can do to help you out with some times here. This may not be quite the track it takes. It might go a little bit more north than this, but if it does, we're going to pick up, try and put some time on this here. Might be a little too optimistic. Xenia, this is headed for your neighborhood in about 21 minutes. So that'd be about 30 minutes out towards Mapleton, Kansas. And like I say, this may head just a little bit more north than that, but give yourself plenty of time if you're in this neighborhood. That's going to be a particularly nasty little storm. So as I continue to look down to the southwest, look what I see out here around Humboldt, Kansas. Same kind of thing getting started there. Not severe warned right now. But again, all of this area under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock tonight. Off and running. So here we are once again if you're jumping on in Cass or northern Bates counties. So Adrian, Archie, Garden City, Creighton, and Urick all under a severe thunderstorm warning for 32 minutes. So we have some possibly 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some 1-inch plus hail. Strongest of this activity right now is hanging out just south of 18 highway there. So Amsterdam, you're just about done. Should be lightening up in Amsterdam nicely now. All of this area out here just south of 18 highway having a severe thunderstorm right now with possibly some 1-inch plus hail out there in your neck of the woods. So like I say, we'll continue to check this for all the things. We'll go ahead and put up those two views that we like to see, making sure that we're not seeing that tornado threat out of these. If we are, we'll just hone in. So some very, very weak rotation has happened back with this one right now. We will keep an eye on this strong cell, though, as it moves across I-49. That's where we are right now. Let's go over here to the left side of our screen. You guys can see between Archie and Passaic, really, rain is starting to get heavier. It's going to get a lot heavier right at Adrian here, I think, is where the bulk of this is going to move through. So stay between probably Adrian and Archie for the bulk of this strong storm. So here's our situation right now. We're just experiencing clustering of these really strong cells moving through. Do think that we will see a few more popping up down here to the south. Again, these are all going to move off to the east, northeast if you do get these. So not everybody is going to see these this afternoon. That's the good news about this. Always trying to find the good news, right? So just a very strong thunderstorm with that 1-inch plus hail shaking its way across I-49 right now. This is going to be a noisy, powerful storm. It's going to put down some serious downpours in areas that have already had 1-inch plus, but probably 2 inches, 2.5 maybe. Should be more received last night as you get closer to like the Harrisonville, South Harrisonville neighborhood is what we saw. So unfortunately, plenty more rain on the way right out here in this area. Severe thunderstorm warning is going to take you out for the next 30 minutes. So that's up until about 2:45 this afternoon. Small hail west of Adrian. Hey, Paula. Good to see you guys. Sorry we got to do this again. Lots of hail in Amsterdam. I trust that was just a minute ago. Starting to hail in Amsterdam, Kai said. Sorry about that. Welcome, Faith. Glad to have you guys checking on here. So if you're just jumping on, because everybody's at work. Yeah, so just these two, really, are severe warned at this time. We are looking possibly for some more this afternoon as we go later in the afternoon up until about 6 p.m. In fact, I can hop over here and show you the latest model data. We'll check and see if our latest run is in. And I'm going to give you kind of a regional view here so that you guys can see what happens kind of hour by hour. So there's the 3 o'clock hour. It's really more of the same. And look at this. It's really even kind of suggesting the same area that storms would pop up. So it's back over here along in south of 54, Humboldt, where we've been talking. But I do see a few things popping up down around Nevada or south. Again, this is like about 3 p.m. in the next 45 minutes. So we're getting up to where we're going to see a few more of these scattered discrete cells moving along this afternoon. So as we get toward 4 and 5, we still have that, but it kind of, I think, if it hasn't changed too much, starts to intensify a little bit more down towards the south-southeast. So Bolivar, Springfield, and Ozark look like you're going to get the bulk of the activity as we move towards the 5 o'clock hour. So not much has changed here. By 6 o'clock hour, it's really out of our hair as far as east central Kansas and most of west central Missouri going to be an active night, active evening down to the south. So no huge change there. Well, the good news about the hail, you can see it in a split view here. The core is smaller there, right? Let's go ahead and play that. This is going to look really weird. But I'm going to watch the last few scans. Yeah, see how it's really hard to see because it's really fast. But the hail core there is a little bit smaller, but there is still possibly some 1-inch hail in this. And if there is, I hope you're done with it in Amsterdam, but it's radar is hearing this around J and F, and CC highways. For this possible hail core right now. So at least I think you're going to be dealing with less of it by the time you get to Adrian, and hopefully smaller hail size as well. There's just ever so slight of a downward trend. Obviously, we keep watching for any rotation in there as well, other than some weak rotation. Not seeing anything terribly concerning right now, but we'll keep an eye. So good afternoon up in Adrian. Severe warned thunderstorm just off to your southwest, I'm sorry, where but it's already raining pretty good for you guys. Going to get a little bit worse here for about the next 7 minutes. Going to take off out towards Colville, KK Highway. You're all in the path of this severe warned thunderstorm as well. Crescent Hill neighborhood and E Highway out east of the Crescent Hill neighborhood. You guys are in the path of this severe warned thunderstorm. Going to make its way out towards Garden City and Creighton, hoping for some weakening by the time that we get out there. But all of this area remains severe thunderstorm warned for the next 26 minutes. This is our most significant cell in the area right now. Actually, for the rest of us, there is nothing going on. We'll pop over here to the Kansas side and we'll talk about Mapleton. Has the same thing, just a little bit of smaller thunderstorm over here. But this will put down some 1-inch hail. Just about guarantee that here in the neighborhood of 3 Highway, 65 Highway, Mapleton, Kansas. You are in the path of this severe warned thunderstorm. Already starting to pick up some rain for you guys there. Interesting little polygon is going to take us out to the 69 corridor at Fulton. Fulton, Kansas. Also in the path, I think this might just go to the north of you a little bit, but in the path of this severe warned thunderstorm and kind of in the track, right? So that's the neighborhood we're going to continue to see thunderstorms down here in this area. So we'll roll up here to Adrian, seeing a little bit less of a storm. It's kind of broadening out. This is just really going to take up all of the real estate from just south of Harrisonville here, about the Loves area. In fact, we can go up here and see that. There's the airport. So that's about the extent of this. It's not severe warned. You guys are just getting some rain right now. So yeah, Loves is like right up in here. And that's about the northernmost extent of this storm activity. In fact, it's going to get a little loud up in that very neighborhood right now. But the bulk of this is going to just about to pick up Adrian by the next scan. I think we'll see that you guys are in the thick of this there as it crosses the 49 corridor. Inch hail east of Amsterdam on F Highway. I told you. Thanks, Paula. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. How about Pleasanton, Kansas? Nothing is happening for you right now, but it's about to. You're going to get some light rain here in about 6 minutes. And there is a severe warned thunderstorm here. I'll get out so you guys can see. So if you're up here in Pleasanton, severe warned thunderstorm is down to your southwest, down south of Blue Mound, down around 65, K65. I think it will come up and see you. But will it be severe warned when it gets there or not? It's strong right now. Let's go ahead and... No, not going to happen. Try and loop here. Just 1 second. Should go dark for a minute. We'll stack everything back up here, and there we go. So there's your path. So I think Pleasanton and Mound City, yeah, you will get what's left of this storm, but do you guys see the weakening that's already happened there? That's a good sign. And it's already starting to make it outside of the Warren Polygon there. So, yeah, I think you just have heavy downpours and possibly some small hail coming your way. And since I'm right here, we'll just go ahead and before the heaviest of it gets to you, it'll be storming before this, but you have about 30 minutes in Mound City before the heaviest part gets right to you. So, but I don't know if it'll be severe warned or not. But I think there's just starting a downward trend. I like to say too much about that because this environment, that can pick right up. They can run into some more fuel and get strong again. So don't relax too much, but a little bit of a downward trend happening over there. As there is here, you're probably like, no, there's not in Adrian. It is solid in Adrian right now, but it's less than it was. It's not quite the storm it was a few minutes ago. So that's good news for you guys out here in Colville, E Highway, Dayton neighborhood, and out towards Creighton. You know, you have a heavy downpour coming your way for sure, but not too sure what it'll be. That it'll be stronger than that by the time that it gets out to you. However, you have another 21 minutes left to go in this warning. Hail in Adrian now. Yep. So you are getting what is left of this there in Adrian right now. There is still some 1-inch hail in there. It's just not as big as it was. So these little numbers I'm looking at, all you need to remember is 60. 60 is where we start to talk about 1-inch plus sized hail. So could still be the case there. Sorry, in Harrisonville, in Adrian, sorry. And maybe a little bit up here towards Crescent Hill. How's the wind in Adrian? Are you guys getting any strong wind gusts? Or is it just torrential downpours and a little bit of hail? I am curious about that. Downpour and hail, yeah. So let's pay attention to coming up along I-49 a little bit further north than we have been talking about. So this is Lone Tree neighborhood, which there's the Harrisonville Airport right here. You guys see that? There's where 7 Highway hits 49. So this is a strong thunderstorm to pay attention to as well. All the way out here from DD Highway. This is going to all intersect like the airport neighborhood there. And so this is actually strong, as is the chunk down here to the south. But we'll watch and see what happens up here if anything kicks out for you guys up toward Harrisonville. This is a strong thunderstorm. It's possibly going to pack some hail in it as well. It's right now not severe warned, but we'll keep an eye on that. I think it's worth knowing about if you are in the Harrisonville Memorial Airport, the Lawrence Smith Memorial Airport. Sorry about that. They're at 7 Highway. There's the hotel. So this is the exit over to Clinton. This is the neighborhood. I think you guys are going to pick up at least a very strong thunderstorm and possibly some hail moving through this area, maybe out towards 2, where 2 takes off out east of Harrisonville, and maybe even the East Lynn neighborhood up here to the northeast, as you guys have a strong thunderstorm moving your direction right now if you are in that neighborhood. So should be finished up there in Adrian. So we're out in all the vast area of KK Highway, Altona, Colville. That's where you guys are picking up the strongest part of that thunderstorm right now. There's a little jump out here crossing 7 Highway as well. Like 7 Highway and B Highway. This is just to the north of Urick. Also has a severe warned thunderstorm as well. So I don't think it's going to get the conservation area over here, but I think you guys get some rain out of it. Maybe a little bit of the south end of that cell there will pick you guys up at the conservation area. But the bulk of this storm right now has passed over I-49. So if you're going up and down 49, I think you're good until you get south of Harrisonville again. So give it a little time. There's plenty of storm left up there in that area. So let's kind of investigate what is left of this big old storm. Yeah, so there's hail in all parts of this. Still that significant hail that's out to the east of Adrian there. And still, and going to see some hail up here just north of the warned area. So all that area that I was just talking about, seeing some hail out of the Amaruja conservation area, DD Highway, Lone Tree, heading toward the airport. So may not approach the 1-inch size, but may not approach that quarter size hail. Possibly a little bit smaller. Looks like it is coming together there just south of Harrisonville. So over on the right side of your screen, there is your hail picture. Kind of watching all the other things today, but heavy downpours and hail seems to be the theme of these storms, right? Just checking messages, like hearing what is going on around the region. Amazing cloud structures out there. You always send me your cloud pictures. Never get tired of looking at that. Holy smokes. That's what these discrete little cells are like. You'll have blue skies and sunshine, and all that heating is the problem today. And then boom, puffy white clouds, big dark skies, and then gone. And back to sunshine. So kind of crazy, but I like knowing what you guys are seeing out there. I appreciate that. So plenty of hail left in these, that is for sure. I have found plenty of strength to stumble into this afternoon. That is for sure. So look at all the lightning. It was just showing up a second ago here, out to the north of 18 KK up on towards Dayton. That is where the bulk of that quarter size hail is falling right now. So you guys are going to get some of it too up here right at the airport right now. It's already making its way. This is out east of Harrisonville along 2 highway here. You guys can expect some small hail as well out here, especially like 2 and K highway, working on the East Lynn neighborhood. Strong thunderstorm also moving through your area. Not severe warned, but honestly, it might as well be. But as it sits right now, our severe warning is right here. It has 12 minutes to go. We're talking about Creighton and Urick. You guys are up next. Creighton, Urick, all along the 7 highway corridor. Garden City, Creighton, Urick, Blairstown. You guys are still under a severe thunderstorm warning. We've had plenty of hail and heavy downpours in all of this storm mix that is headed your way. So it's like this is going to creep up and get Harrisonville too, I think. So there's the airport. Here's where 49 comes in, just out to the east of the city of Harrisonville. I think you guys will get a little bit of this thunderstorm activity in your neighborhood in the next few minutes as well. So the stronger part of this storm continues to hang together, and so they have extended a new severe thunderstorm warning out here to the neighborhood. We've already talked about Creighton and Urick, so this is going to go over and get Chilhowie and M and 13. Here's O Highway first, M Highway, 13 Highway. You guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning out to Leeton and out to Windsor. Severe thunderstorm warning for the next 41 minutes. This one has a damage threat on it, considerable damage threat due to the size of this hail that may get up to 1.75 inches. So it has produced some greater than 1.5 inches hail, according to law enforcement reports. So this now has that considerable damage threat on account of that potentially golf ball sized hail. Again, can't rule out those isolated gusts. They won't be widespread, but isolated gusts up to around 60 miles per hour. So this one is going to go for the next 41 minutes. That's going to take you up till about 3:15. Severe thunderstorm warning now for Chilhowie, Leeton neighborhoods on out towards Windsor. So let's go ahead and talk about these hail areas, just because that is our predominant threat. Heavy downpours and hail has kind of been the story of the afternoon. So we'll go ahead and talk about that, and we will see that you guys can see the strength of this. If I loop the radar and we're looking at hail right now, that's what it's helping us to understand. It just does not knock out. And so you may get a couple rounds of it, but when it was back here along 18 Highway, it was still well over 1 inch. Yeah, I mean, 1.25 inches, approaching 1.5 inches. So yeah, still there, still happening. So this is a good warning to take us out here because of that considerable damage threat. Yeah, giving us some strong possibility for some relatively isolated hail damage on account of this severe thunderstorm. So that's what we have in the region right now. I haven't backed out in a minute to see. Down here to the southwest, look at this. We did have a report over here on the Kansas side. So up here around K7, this looks like the law enforcement report of 2-inch hail over here in Lynn County. That's out of this storm, and it's still doing it over there on the Missouri side now. So down here to the southwest, let's go down here and pick up. This is just kind of our corridor for storms this afternoon. Over here in Moran, it's going to show me some 1.7, some almost 2-inch hail here along 54 Highway. So know about this storm over there in your neck of the woods as well, because this has a track that's put down some 1.5 inches plus hail. And this is going to take aim once again at the 69 highway corridor here around Mound City and Pleasanton. So it's what I was telling you guys about a few minutes ago. We had somebody from Pleasanton taking a look. So it's just about now. I think you guys are starting to get into the rain. It's going to get heavier, and there is possibly some 1 inch plus hail headed your direction as well. So we'll watch and see if any warnings are extended for you guys over there in the Pleasanton and Mount City area. Sun is out in Drexel. See how it is? Heavy rain and wind about 2 miles east of Archie. Okay. And see our little storm reports picking up. So this is going to be a Bates County storm report right here, talking about some 1 inch hail just outside of Amsterdam. Yeah, we saw that just move through a little bit ago. So all of this, a very real threat for considerable damage due to hail. Look at this right now. The heaviest part of this, the strongest part of this thunderstorm is right at Settles Ford Conservation Area, little Erin neighborhood, if you know where that is, out to the north of Maysburg. So this is moving, and it's getting a little bit stronger. Look at this as it goes towards 7 Highway. So absolutely, this is severe thunderstorm warning, but take cover, be protected here in Urich. I think there's heavy downpours, and there is significant hail headed your way right here in Urich. You are in the path of the storm. You guys can hear it now. I am sure about that. So if it hangs together like it is now, it's going to be in Blairstown in about 21 minutes. So I think that's next up after Urich is about 21 minutes before what is left of. And this has been a strong storm with a considerable damage threat for hail. So you have 15 to 20 minutes if you are in the Blairstown or just north of there, headed up towards Chilhowie. The storm is headed your direction. So radar indications are that we are still seeing that potentially damaging hail. I do still think this is going to come straight toward Urich and Creighton neighborhoods. So where you're already picking up a strong thunderstorm, I think the hail's just about to pass over you, and I think there will be some definitely 1 inch plus there. If there's any new information in here. Golf ball size and 60 mile per hour wind gusts, they continue to caution us about. Again, Creighton and Urich, heads up for you guys. We'll go back over here to single view, and you guys can see Blairstown, Chilhowie, out along O Highway and headed up towards 2 Highway is where you guys are also going to pick up possibly some damaging hail up to around 2 inches. So be advised, shoot your text, make your phone calls. That up around 2 inch hail stuff is nothing to mess with, as we all know in this area. Kind of want to hop back over here to the Kansas side. Nothing has been extended as of right now. Up towards Mound City and Pleasanton. So this is just kind of a thin band. It's heavy right now in Bronson, crossing over 52. So yeah, just starting to work on the Prescott neighborhood here, but not severe warned right now. So rain's starting to pick up there in Mound City. You guys can see. We'll pay attention to that, see if they kick anything out up your direction there. Pleasanton and Mound City. Be kind of in the corner over there of that county. All right, so hang tight there in Creighton and Urick. You guys are getting one heck of a thunderstorm right now, starting to pass over 7 Highway. It is moving relatively quick, but probably not quick enough for you folks. Everything looks clear to me right now, for now, but we have a couple of hours left that we're going to be watching. So 7 Highway and back over here towards Adrian looks just great right now. But also we're in the neighborhood where we could see more pop-ups. I keep looking down here to the south. That's kind of where data suggested that we might see some more storms develop down here to the south. But all of this in the red, if you guys are just hopping on, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that's going to take us up until 9 o'clock tonight. For these pop-up discrete cells like we are seeing, they have been strong. They have put down some 2-inch hail, so you don't want to mess around with them if you start to pick up a warning this afternoon. Be advised, these will be strong storms, and once they're gone, they're gone. It's a good thing about these, but not all of us are going to see these. So things starting to clear up again in Harrisonville. This got you just a little bit to the south, but it's 7 Highway, Creighton, and Urick. Going to talk about Blairstown, Chilhowie. You guys are in the path of this severe warned thunderstorm right now. Hail, obviously kind of ridiculous in this whole setup. I'm amazed. Looking for that to dissipate, and it has not for about the past 10, 20 minutes. Downpouring in Harrisonville, Ricky says. Winds are over as fast as they started, Angela says, in Archie. So good news for you guys. Great. For now, hope it stays that way for you. So we're talking about a hail threat out here. You guys can see exactly the area that I'm watching for some damaging hail. We're talking about Creighton and Urick out here. You guys are going to get pounded with some possibly up to 2-inch hail in the next few minutes. Everybody be advised. We're going to be working next on the 13 Highway corridor here out towards Leeton. That's the area that I'm paying attention to, and possibly Windsor out there as well. If we're lucky, it's going to go a little bit north, I think, of Windsor. So everybody hang out. Once this passes over with you, you're done for a little while. By 6 o'clock tonight, I think we're all done. As far as west central Missouri goes, and eastern Kansas for sure. But it's 2:45. What can I say? Right for Urick. What did I tell you? So crazy thunderstorm and hail right now in Urick is what I'm expecting to hear about. And I think we're headed for Maureen, Norris, Petersburg. So we'll go ahead and check out some times. If I take just the hail, I know you guys are going to get a thunderstorm way before this, but it's about 12 minutes if Maureen is your neighborhood, 16 minutes before this hail gets there if you're out towards Norris, and Petersburg in about 21 minutes from right now. So before the hail gets there, you're going to have thunderstorm activity. You're going to have heavy downpours before that. But if that hail stays together, putting down some possibly 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 hail, that's about the timeline that you have from right now at 2:46 p.m. So So all this stuff out here to the south and now directly east of Harrisonville, not severe warned, just a heavy downpour out there towards East Lynn. And nothing at all up towards Kingsville. You guys are going to get some rain, some heavy downpours working its way through your area. Heads up to my friends in Holden. I think you will get some heavy downpours out of this as well. But I think we're talking about areas to the south. I think we're going to be for the next few hours. Excuse me, looking at areas down here to the south. Haven't forgotten about you guys over here in southeast Kansas, Mound City, and Pleasanton. So looks like Prescott. Prescott has a strong thunderstorm. It is not severe warned. So you guys in Pleasanton just picking up some moderate rainfall right now. So I think this little dude is going to cruise across state line and maybe get like Worland, between Worland and Foster. But it's not severe warned right now, but it'll be a heavy downpour. So is this going to track off towards Butler? Maybe. I think it will. Okay. So how long until stuff starts in Butler, even if it's not severe warned? About 47 minutes. That seems a little long. So I'm going to say, about 30 minutes before heavy downpours will begin in Butler. So it's 2:40. Yeah, it's a little early to leave work. Sorry about that. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you're the boss where you work and you can leave. But really, it's just a thunderstorm headed your way right now. So nothing to be worried about like what we have been. Could be a little bit of hail in there by the time it gets there, but main area of concern remains here along the 13 highway corridor between Urick and 13, where we are talking about considerable damage threat. That is what the NWS has said about this severe thunderstorm warning, which goes on for the next 27 minutes. Maximum hail size estimated at 2 inches, which is no joke because we have seen that. I think it was over on the Kansas side, but we're seeing plenty of 1 inch plus hail tracking along this severe thunderstorm warned area right now. So everybody should be well warned by now. Up and down 13 highway. This is just about to your neighborhood out towards Leeton and out here in Y highway. It is going to pick up Whiteman Air Force Base. You guys are not severe warned, but if this continues, I can bank that you will be next if this storm stays together, which has been strong for quite some time now. So all right, Urick people, we're just about done, I promise. I hope it has not been too bad. Let's go ahead and check with these spotty storms. We don't often think power outages, but it doesn't hurt to check. See if I have any early reports of power outages. Off here, nothing cropping up so far. Are there still power outages from last night up here north of 70? That's what it's showing me up towards Marshall, but I'm not seeing anything show up yet in eastern Kansas and western Missouri. So plenty of lightning activity here. Urick on up to Chilhowie. You guys are getting a middle of the afternoon thunderstorm and one heck of a lightning show. What I'd really like to see is kind of a downward trend in the hail, and I don't know. I don't think so. Not so much. It's an upward trend, honestly, that has happened in the last few radar scans. So I have good news about the hail. Think you guys will get a little bit of small hail over here around 69 Highway at Prescott, too. So this little hail core is headed right over toward Prescott. Might be there by now. So par for the course for these afternoon storms. So starting to rain now in Bates County, working its way towards Butler. When it starts to rain there between, say, Adrian and Butler, there's quite a bit more to come. I mean, if this just tracks like it has and continues up towards the Adrian-Butler area, there's quite a bit more to come. So we're going to expect a rainy afternoon. Haven't really seen this development down to the south that I am that I'm looking at. It's all just staying right along this corridor here. Not a real big surprise, but we'll keep an eye for you folks down in Nevada and points to the south. So for right now, this is what we have going on. We have 24 minutes left in this up to 2-inch hail possible for the next 24 minutes out here towards, actually going towards the Air Force Base. That's the best geographical descriptor that I can give you guys. Hail, Adrian, Ballard area. Anybody know what size hail they got? Just hailed in Ballard. How big is the hail, you guys? Radar returns are not the best way to get exact. I can tell you what the possibilities are and tell you with good confidence what the maximum estimated size is. That I have a lot of confidence in. But what exactly I'm seeing in terms of hail can't be exact. So got to have you guys for that. And it helps a lot. But that area is my geography right here. So let's see what we are getting. Yeah. Okay. So theoretically, it's about done there in Ballard. So the craziest hail right now is yet to impact Urich, Maysburg, Lucas. If you're not from around here, you don't really know these names. I recognize that. So I try to use bigger landmarks. But if you're from around here, you know exactly where I'm talking about. Radar is telling me this is well over possibly 1 inch is our maximum estimated size that we may see. So I think it will just skip you in Creighton to the south, but heads up in Urich, because we do have reports that it just finished hailing there in Ballard. Not sure the size that we have seen. Nobody has said with confidence there, because they're all measuring it now, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but this is where so Urich, take note, hail is headed your direction for sure by radar indication and some social media reports that I am just now reading over. Emily says it was scattered, but the largest was golf ball size with some smaller. So they have had golf ball size in the Ballard area. Wow. So that's going to push all off to the northeast, you guys. So this golf ball size hail, possible stuff. In the path of that will be, let's go back over and take a look. Again, Urich, Blairstown, Norris, and Highway, between Blairstown and Norris and out towards Chilhowie. So you have a couple of rounds possible when you get up here towards Blairstown and Chilhowie. Small hail first, possibly some larger hail rolling in right behind that. Slightly larger than pea size, north and east of Urich. Thanks, Jeremy. I believe you, you guys. So there's a little bit of a downward pulse. Look at this right there, cruising towards 13 Highway on kind of the leading edge out there. So a little bit of weakening kind of in the north half of that storm. But you guys can see it exactly where I should look for pockets of hail. 2 of them in this severe warned thunderstorm right now. So I bet you that's what we will see if we pull up the latest scan is 2 pockets of hail. So stronger down here to the south. Looks like it's coming into Maureen, Harvey, and Huntingdale right now. So you're already getting some hail out here in Petersburg. It's going to get a little bit bigger. And yeah, this is that smaller hail just off to crossing 2 Highway right now, off to the west of 13. So looks like it has just missed Chilhowie, headed up towards Cornelia. haven't talked about Cornelia in forever. Other than that, look at this huge field of heavy downpours that you guys are getting right now. Nobody's talking too much about the wind, so I'm going to trust that the wind is picked up, but nobody is complaining about strong wind gusts. If you guys had that, I would be interested again in that like Ballard, Urich corridor, what the winds have done for you guys out there. So storms continue to track right along the same area here, just like we have kind of been thinking. No development down to the south. So if you're watching, you are in like what? This area here. You might be in Harrisonville. But realistically, you're in Bates County or you're in Southern Cass County, probably. That's all that we have had to talk about this afternoon. Might be all. We need to go till about 6 p.m. Going to read you guys' reports while we take a little sponsor break. All of this is brought to you, hope you find it helpful, by me and my crew at Mullinex Funeral Home. We are here for your family in your time of need. And that's what I depend on to be able to bring you this news about the weather. So just a shout out, we are always available. We are friends when you need us the most. 660-679-0009 is the phone number. You can talk to a funeral director anytime that you have questions when you need to. Sponsoring today's coverage of these severe storms. So it looks like we're with the heaviest stuff right where we were just talking about out here in the Maureen neighborhood, O Highway, moving off towards N Highway with a new radar scan there. Petersburg at N Highway. So Shawnee Mound where it's already thunderstorming. The heaviest of the storm and possibly some significant hail is headed your direction in 13 minutes. So for the next 13 minutes, continue just to stay where you are. There's possibly some golf ball size hail still in this. We have some very mixed stuff, very scattered in our hail sizes, but possibly hitting Shawnee Mound here in about 13 minutes, you guys. And we've had a little bit smaller hail up here just to the south of Cornelia. But I'm going to look out towards the Burtville neighborhood just to let you guys know that in 16 minutes, this smaller hail, we could be still talking up to some quarter-size hail, makes it out to your neighborhood. So if Burtville is your neighborhood, you have about 16 minutes before that treks there. Pretty rural, not picking up many roads to tell you about here. So Y Highway looks like the neighborhood to talk to, possibly going to be impacted by that hail. So nothing severe issued out here too. Southern Bates County, we do have those storms that I was just talking about moving through this neck of the woods. Nothing severe warned right now. Does not mean that there will not be some hail in this. Let's go ahead and put up two views so we can take a look. So over on the right is going to show up hail for right now. So some small hail, not what we have been talking about. Some very small hail, maybe pea-sized hail. And where is that right now? Directly west of Rich Hill. So it looks like that may have just come over Hume. I know I got people in Hume. If you guys are on, did you get any small hail in Hume? If you did, it's headed out towards Foster right now. It's going to pick up New Home specifically in the next couple minutes. So some small hail out there due west of Rich Hill. And that is all going to track really straight on up to Butler in a few minutes. So just a thunderstorm with possibly some very small hail in it. And nothing else to be concerned about right now. So yeah, significant thunderstorm impacting New Home right now, headed out towards the Cornland neighborhood, just about to come into Butler. But again, nothing severe warned at this time for you guys, just a significant thunderstorm. Main damage threat continues to be right now between Petersburg and Shawnee Mound. Here is M Highway that runs out east of Petersburg. Still talking about that potential for significant hail. We haven't checked on that in a few minutes. Still there. So we're absolutely still talking about that possibly 1.5 inch hail at Hartwell, DD. Impacting the conservation area, but hopefully just missing that to the southeast. So in the path of this still remains Maureen, Petersburg, and Shawnee Mound. Put up satellite view for a second just so you guys can see how this boundary, that's what I'm concerned about. See how storms are forming right along the boundary. You can see it blow up there with the cloud cover. And so that boundary really is just staying put. These storms are not sweeping off. So that explains our kind of our storm track this afternoon. But you guys can see that to the northwest and the southeast, everything is great. It's just right where this boundary is picking up. That's been our focus for storms this afternoon. Satellite kind of helps to see that as they develop. So if your concern is up here to the north, there is a new severe thunderstorm warning up here for Concordia. Same thing, 1 inch hail and possibly some 60-mile-per-hour winds, so be warned about that. The reason I bring these up sometimes is people traveling along I-70. So if that is you this afternoon, I-70 at Concordia for sure, but I-70 at T Highway and out toward Sweet Springs. How far does this go? Out towards YY Highway is all under a severe thunderstorm warning. I think that you will see that 1 inch hail in there as well. So I-70 travelers, be warned about that particular area. So up to 2 inch hail continues to be the predominant threat, as this thunderstorm has multiple parts to it coming into Shawnee Mound here. Shawnee Mound and M Highway has the bulk of this thunderstorm right now that has been known to produce some up to 2 inch hail. We've seen some really scattered hail sizes in this thunderstorm. So this is working its way out towards Leeton. And look at this just sort of corridor of strong thunderstorm activity out towards Burtville. So Whiteman Air Force Base now also going to pick up strong thunderstorm activity. There's no warning there for you guys right now. We're probably watching to see what happens with this hail trend. And as that gets a little bit closer out to the Air Force Base, might see that change. Okay, so right now, our only two warnings, I'm going to go ahead and show you regional radar. We do still have this line of storms that's formed along that boundary that I was just showing you there on satellite view. There has been some off and on small hail in that, but not giving them anything to warn there right now. So just some robust little thunderstorms. It'll be noisy. There's some lightning in that. Look at that. There's possibly some small hail. We can go ahead and check that out real quick. Yeah, there will be some small hail in it, but nothing is severe warned down there right now. Could have the occasional strong wind gust, like there might be just off to the west of 69 Highway there right now. But that is tracking all up into the Butler neighborhood right now. So all the way from Prescott, Kansas, and clear down here around Manti, Kansas, all the way up through Butler. Just kind of expect storms to hang out along that boundary if your travels are taking you any of those directions this afternoon. But as far as warnings go at this time, the only severe warning that we have is on account of these possible damaging wind gusts, but most especially the large hail. And we're talking about this corridor over here, Y Highway working its way out towards the Air Force Base is all now severe warned for the next 8 minutes, again, on account of that potentially large damaging hail. So I bet the sun is coming back out in Harrisonville. I think that boundary has just formed a little bit to the south of you guys. So again, Adrian, Butler, where we're starting to see some heavy downpours come into. Nothing is severe warned right now. Everybody can relax. You just have some thunderstorms to get through. After the last, however long it's been, week, 8 days, this should be nothing. We don't really need more heavy downpours, but I think that's what's in store as I move all along this line. So what am I watching for? I'm watching this boundary, and I'm watching points down here to the south to see if we have any development. We can hop over and see if model data gives us anything new to be concerned about. Let's go ahead and look at most recent run. So you guys can kind of notice with me that as we work towards 4 o'clock, it really continues to form storms there along that boundary, which is showing up now as a stationary boundary, which is exactly what it's acting like. And then as we move through over into the evening, it develops again, continually some activity down here to the south, working on the Springfield area. But it looks like we may just be talking about that boundary for the next couple of hours. And once that all passes out, still by about 6 o'clock p.m., we would be all finished with this particular threat. So not a significant change. All right, so starting to get out of the warned area with no warnings extended out here to the south of the Air Force Base. Still seeing some hail out in that area for sure. I'm very confident. I think maybe we see a little bit less of it down here to the south. But strong thunderstorm right now. Leeton, Newcastle, Bowen. You guys are severe thunderstorm warned. You don't need me to tell you. Ha ha! Ha ha ha. No warning extended until now. What do you know? So this one is going to pick up Sedalia. I'm guessing it is going to talk about some $half size hail. So that is down. The damage, considerable damage threat tag not hanging out in this one, but still, 1.25 inches is plenty to be prepared for. So 60-mile-per-hour isolated wind gusts still possible. This is going to pick up Green Ridge, 50 Highway Sedalia for the next 48 minutes. So that's going to take you up until 4 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm warning now picking up Windsor, B Highway. So that's going to be Green Ridge, 65 Highway out to the south of Sedalia. Prime real estate for a severe warned thunderstorm. Moving through right now, let's take a look at where that actually is. It's going to miss the Air Force Base down here to the south. So 23 Highway is where the strongest of this is right now, out south of the base. The Turkey Kern Memorial Wildlife Area is prime for that severe thunderstorm right now. So in the path of that will be Y Highway, AA Highway, out here to the north and the east of the wildlife area, working its way out toward Dresden. So all of this under a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 47 minutes. So I don't see anything else happening much over in east central Kansas, west central Missouri. Here is a strong thunderstorm to maybe keep an eye on that is just now out to the southeast of Pleasanton once again. So this might be intensifying just a little bit as it comes into the Worland area. So I'm listening to the weather radio, but okay, I think that's for Sedalia, so we already know about that. So here is a little cell in this cluster. This is strong, off to the southeast of Pleasanton. So right now, not severe, but a significant thunderstorm right at Waddles Road and East 1000 Road, headed right towards Cedar Crest Lodge at East 1000 Road. So let's go ahead and track this on into the Worland neighborhood. I like to do the small towns, right? They get missed by everybody else. So 8 minutes, you're already having some heavy downpours there in the Worland neighborhood out in southwestern Bates County. But it's going to pick up here in the next 5 to 8 minutes for you all in that neighborhood. Here's a new scan. It is headed your way. Worland has a significant thunderstorm there. No warning there for that right now. Do kind of wonder... We will look on the right side of our screen and see if we see any hail headed towards that. Some small hail. Some small hail coming into Hume right now. Okay, so not up to, maybe 1/4 inch hail. So that explains why it's not warned, but you will have a robust thunderstorm knocking on your door as this thing moves into Bates County. Rich Hill, we can so I don't want to talk about Rich Hill. So Rich Hill, nothing warned for you guys right now. There is a thunderstorm just up the road, up I-49 for you. Not severe warned, just a heavy downpour. So you're kind of on the southern edge of the boundary. So what might happen down in this area? We were actually just watching on satellite view. You can actually see where this boundary is forming. Here we go. And it is starting to push like east-southeast. And that's been predicted. But let me go ahead and kind of pause it there. And yeah, you can see that Rich Hill is right on the boundary. as is Nevada. So, you wonder if we're going to see any further development down here in this area. Wouldn't be out of the question. So, but again, nothing severe warned for you guys right now. If anything does take a severe turn, it would probably be this right here, which is just now at the wildlife refuge that I was just paying attention to a few minutes ago. It's going to pick up Worland. I do see a little bit of a uptick as we move over across state line here. In this storm wasn't really putting down that much hail a minute or two ago, so that will keep us out of severe warning criteria. If the wind gusts do not pick up as well. So we'll just kind of keep an eye for a few minutes here, but these will just be, they'll be strong thunderstorms for sure, not presently severe warned here moving into Bates County. So the heaviest of this thunderstorm out here for most of us, this will be off to our northeast. This is now at Owsley and headed towards double A, and Y Highway. This is really off to Dresden, but really picking up Sedalia. So let's go ahead and talk about Sedalia for just a second, where it's just starting to rain. And let's put a time that the heaviest of this, including possibly some 1-inch plus hail, gets to Sedalia, and I'm going to say 25 minutes before the heaviest chunk of this thunderstorm picks up Sedalia. It might curve a little bit more to the north, though, so you may not actually get the bulk of that, but if you do, you have about 25 minutes before that gets to your neck of the woods. So, just like I kind of wanted to hang on here in case it happened, it has happened. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Foster, New Home, Butler. This is going to pick up the Peru, Pleasant Gap neighborhoods out towards Spruce. This is going to get Johnstown, Ballard, and is going to go all the way to Clinton. So they're going to warn where storms are cropping up along that boundary that I was just showing you there. So what do we have? First of all, we'll check out the bulletin. We're talking about the same kind of thing that we have been ever since I started the stream. So some 60-mile-per-hour isolated wind gusts. Not everybody will see those. I actually don't have, unless anybody wants to correct me, nobody is telling me about super strong wind gusts. Nobody's complained about that yet on the stream anyway. So let me know if you do get that. If you have isolated gusts, they could be up to 60 miles per hour. Other than that, we're talking about the possibility of some around 1-inch hail, maybe a little bit bigger than that. So enough to do damage to vehicles. We all know this. This is going to go until 4 p.m. So that is on account of these storms here moving along the boundary. Just now starting to come into Foster. Actually, I think the strongest part of this thunderstorm is not warned. It's out here just to the east of the wildlife area and just south of Amoret. We are having a very strong thunderstorm. So you're just outside the area. So nobody asked me, but I kind of would put this polygon up here and probably pick up Passaic as well, because I think this is going to impact all of that area. So we'll just go ahead and treat it like that. We'll go ahead and say that the polygon picks up Passaic and runs up to 18 Highway up to the Ballard neighborhood as well. You guys are going to get a strong thunderstorm. May not be warned. But that is what you will see. So off to the southwest of Butler is where we're seeing this strong thunderstorm right now. So if I'm going to track this into Butler, where we're just having some light rain show up on radar returns right, but I'm going to track the heaviest of this thunderstorm into Butler. It's out around Foster right now. So that puts it in Butler in about 21 minutes at the path that this is moving. So going to hit Butler here in about 21 minutes. Let me see if I can get a couple of other little points on this too. So we'll get out to the Nyhart neighborhood in about 8 minutes. Going to pick up Butler again in about 21 minutes before the strongest part of this thunderstorm with potentially some small hail. We'll keep an eye on hail as it gets up there to the Butler neighborhood. So just starting with some precip there in Butler and going to get heavier as this severe warned thunderstorm is down to your southwest. Foster right now, V Highway is where this has just passed over. This is out at Nyhart right now, picking up V Highway just south of the Virginia neighborhood and headed out towards K, actually. K, where here is 52 that runs out to the east of Butler. Move over here, and K Highway runs down this way, and that is where we're running into this severe warned thunderstorm activity right now. You all get comfortable. I'm getting comfortable. It's been a long stream. I didn't know if we were going to do one cell when this fired off, and I thought I will jump on and talk about that one cell. And I don't know how many cells we've talked about now. So if you're just jumping on, what we're kind of watching, kind of big picture overall, is I'm just watching this boundary. And I'm looking at satellite view to develop this boundary. Watch how this boundary just develops right here. It hangs out. It's been fairly stationary. It's starting to move off to the east. And so that has been really the focus of our storm. So I'm looking for storms to develop along that boundary, and they are. So we still could see stuff hanging out here, developing out in southeast Kansas, although we're kind of tapering down out there. And so the bulk of this right now here right along the boundary in Bates County, headed over towards Henry County, kind of exactly where we expect things to be. So that's why we're not seeing this big widespread threat like we did the other night. Storms are going to follow this boundary as it pushes off to the east. So, all right, so a non-warned storm is just to the south of Amoret. This is a strong storm. What's this got in it? Let's go ahead and compare this. We're going to see the storm on the left. We're going to see reflectivity, and over here on the right, we're going to take a look at hail. So nothing's showing up yet. So Amoret points to the south, right on the state line. I'm not seeing anything there. Do see some hail coming into Hume. It's not super big hail. Maybe some penny-sized hail down there for you guys to watch out for. But not actually seeing hail develop along this warned polygon until we get out to northeast of Clinton. Sorry. So nothing developing there. Just heavy downpours. It'll be noisy. Plenty of lightning showing up in that neighborhood right now. Again, got to watch out for that occasional isolated wind gust up to 60 miles per hour. Heavy rain, Beverly says, at J and 52 in Amoret. No hail or high winds. Cool. Yeah, I didn't see anything. Kind of to my surprise. Based on the history along this boundary, I thought some hail would develop. So I guess I should say it still could. But that's great. Here's where she's talking about at J and 52. It should be right here. So there could be a little bit of hail, I guess, headed your direction, but you're in the heavy downpour right now. I think it's going to get heavier there. For Beverly at J and 52, the bulk of this is still off just to the southwest. This is at State Line, right along the river is where things are the heaviest right now, just out to the north of Worland. So not severe warned, so you're just going to get heavy downpours, I think, if that no hail trend continues in the Virginia neighborhood. Yeah, which nothing showing up yet. So that's awesome. So I think Virginia neighborhood, you guys are going to get heavy downpours. You're already getting significant downpours. It's going to get a little bit louder there in your neck of the woods. But look how quickly the heavy downpours have already finished up out here in Pleasant Gap and Peru. Or moving in Pleasant Gap right now along O Highway. But watch how these are just kind of bombing their way through. We'll loop the radar. So it's going to come up fast. You're going to get heavy downpours. Nobody's complaining about wind. I don't see how the hail trend would be upward. So I think we're just talking about heavy downpours, guys. Let me know if it's different where you are. All right, so you have a few minutes in Montrose before a heavy downpour. Looks great there right now. Going to really take the 52 highway corridor with this severe warned thunderstorm, but we really are just talking about heavy downpours, guys, so just know that after everything else you've had to deal with this week, that should be pretty welcome. So just hang tight for a little bit if you're traveling 52. Just a really heavy downpour is what you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get hail. If it is, it's very small along this whole corridor right now. But we do have 33 minutes left to go in this severe thunderstorm warning. Can't rule out those isolated gusts. And hail up to around $half size, but pretty encouraged. Go ahead and check out all the other things. Nothing concerning here. Nothing concerning there. Looking for spin ups. Nope, not at all. Not at all. So maybe on the back end of this, is there some small hail working on Hume? New scan. So maybe some really little hail has found its way over towards Appleton City in that part of the storm, which I can show you guys that. There's 52 coming into Appleton City. Here's the Hudson neighborhood. So I think mostly you're just dealing with a heavy downpour there. 52 coming into Appleton City. It's going to miss Appleton, I think, just to the northeast. But I'm kind of looking for hail here. So I do think there's hail now south of Amoret, possibly moving up into Amoret. So this is not the super big hail that we thought it might be. I think there may be a little bit of up to quarter size hail in there, but there's a lot of scattered and a lot of smaller hail, most likely in that. So again, as that trends off, we'll kind of pick out like up to Passaic and maybe a little bit north. May still have some hail in there, but they're not warning up anything up north. So possibly not, possibly just some heavy downpours and some maybe small hail. Pea-size. Where's pea-size hail, Kayla? Oh, sorry. You told me 2 miles north of 52 on J. Pea-size. Okay. Okay. Not too bad. I mean, it's not good. I'm sorry, but the potential was there for it to be worse. So pea-size hail getting reports now at J and 52, which really could encompass all of this area between Amoret and Virginia. So expect possibly some pea-size hail. Thank you, Kayla, for that. And it's not often that you see stronger storms really outside of the polygon. I keep, kind of my nature is to go where the warning is, but just a robust thunderstorm with that pea-size hail out here. Not severe warned. It's picking up Virginia. It's going to go all the way up to FF Highway, FF and CC. This is out to the west of Adrian. You guys are going to get heavy downpours, possibly, again, some of that pea-sized hail. It's going to hit Passaic here in just a few minutes as well. Haven't talked about southeast Kansas in a few minutes. So down here is a little south of Fredonia. Going to pick up Neodesha. Actually, the little town of Hilford is prime real estate for a severe thunderstorm right now, with possibly some hail in it as well. So we do have a severe thunderstorm down here working its way all the way over towards Thayer at 169 highway for the next 44 minutes. So again, storms forming along this boundary. Kind of thought we might be done out here to the west, southwest of Fort Scott, but the power is still there for these things to continue. So we'll go up here and talk about that has been gone. So allowed to expire is this cluster of thunderstorms that was severe warned. So like I say, we're just seeing a good old spring thunderstorm out to the west of Butler. There was some pea-size hail in that as it passed over Amoret. Stuff is going to arc off over here towards Clinton. So nothing severe warned right now between Fredonia and really Neodesha, Kansas, all the way up through west central Missouri. Nothing severe warned until we get over to Sedalia again. Sedalia is having a very strong thunderstorm right now. This is severe warned right over Sedalia right now, but this is about to push off to your east northeast. So I think it is break time. We need to keep watching until about 6 p.m., see where this boundary goes. There is still plenty of juice in the atmosphere for little cells to fire up like they had. The good news is we're not looking for so the surface chart looks like it can't decide if maybe the boundary doesn't lift off to the north. So anyways, all of this area, we do need to keep watching for those little discrete cells. The good news, like I was saying, not everybody will get one. So still 79 degrees, 85 down towards Nevada. So I will take a break, but I will keep watching things and I will hop back on here if I need to. Appreciate you joining me. As always, talk to you later.